before you quit teaching. Tools, resources, and hope for new teachers in high-poverty classrooms. Written by Ruby K. Payne. 12. Tools to de-stress. TLDR. Manage self-talk. Use tapping techniques. Reframe negative situations. Escape and stay out of dramatic triangles where sometimes you're the victim, sometimes you're the rescuer, and sometimes you're the bully. Maintain a long view, and reframe failures into opportunities for successful learning. Eliminate negative self-talk. Manage your self-talk. Your self-talk is that back door you have into your brain that conveys negative messages and doubt. It might say things like 1. This is stupid. This will never happen. Why try? 2. Remember those last 3 failures you had? Why would this one be any different? 3. You will never be as good as she is. Why try? 4. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough money. How do you manage that self-talk? Here are some questions to ask yourself. 1. What is the worst thing that could happen if this does not work out? Will I be exactly where I am right now? 2. What will people say about me? That is their problem, not yours. 3. Is that actually true? Identify 2 times when it was not true. 4. Will it make a difference in 5 years? 5. Who will probably support me in this venture? 6. Will I stagnate even more if I do not do this? Will I lose a part of myself if I do not try this? Tapping. One of the fastest ways to calm your stress levels is a technique called tapping from thought field therapy. The late Roger Callahan laid out this technique in a book called Tapping the Healer Within. Thought field therapy technique. Protocol. Step 1. Identify an issue and assign a number. Identify the issue/fear that is bothering you. Give it a number on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is high. Step 2. The setup. Even though I have this fear or issue, I deeply and completely accept myself. Say the above statement 3 times and do the karate chop. KC. Step 3. Tapping. EB, eyebrows, SE, side of eye, UE, under eye, UN, under nose, CH, chin, CB, collarbone, UA, under the arm, BN, below the nipple, TH, thumb, IF, index finger, MF, middle finger, BF, baby finger, KC, karate chop. EB, SE, UE, UN, CH, CB, UA, BN, TH, MF, BF, KC. Step 4. The gamut. While tapping on the top of the hand between the little finger and the next finger, do the following. Eyes open, eyes closed, eyes down hard to the right while holding the hand steady, eyes down hard to the left while holding the hand steady, roll the eyes in a circle, roll the eyes in a circle in the opposite direction, hum 2 seconds of a song, count from 1 to 5 quickly, hum 2 seconds of a song. Step 5. Check number from step 1. If the number is not down to 0, say this. Even though I still have some of this fear or issue, I deeply and completely accept myself. Then repeat the process. Steps 2 to 5. Reframing. Reframing is a technique used to identify the behavior that will be compatible with identity. It requires the adult voice. It doesn't work if the person has a biochemical issue or addiction, and it must be framed against the individual's identity. An example is physical fighting. Many students physically fight because it is seen as a position of strength. If you reframe it this way, it takes more strength to stay out of a fight than to get into one. You have reframed it. When parents tell me that they have told their child to fight, I thank them for giving the child necessary survival skills for their environment. Then I ask them this question. Do you fight at work? What you are trying to get the parent to see is that there is an appropriate place to physically fight, and it isn't school or work. Statements to help reframe a situation include: this behavior, not fighting, will help you win more often. This will keep you from being cheated. This will help you be tougher or stronger. This will make you smarter. This will help keep the people you love safe. This will give you power, control, and respect. This will keep you safer. A coach south of Houston told me this story. The coaches had a rule that anyone who was late to class owed them a minute of push-ups for every minute late. A 10th grade boy was late. The coach said, "Give me a minute of push-ups." The boy said no way. The boy got sent to the office and received 45 minutes of detention. The next day the coach said to the boy, "I didn't understand why you gave up a minute for 45 minutes. The boy was confused. So the coach said, "Yesterday, you could have done a minute of push-ups, but you chose 45 minutes of detention. I didn't understand." The day after that the boy came to the coach and said, "I'll do push-ups next time." The coach had reframed the situation not as power and control but as use of time. See failure as a learning opportunity. Are you in a triangle? Development of appropriate boundaries. Emotional resources additionally are linked to appropriate boundaries. Boundaries signify the ability to say no to being used. In other words, boundaries allow you to maintain self-respect. The closer you get to survival, the fewer the boundaries. Spaces are crowded. Resources are scarce. One has to give in order to get. These factors over time lead to abuse, manipulation, codependence, and servitude. The response to a lack of boundaries frequently is to become over-controlling, manipulative, and fixated. Options are seldom considered, and thinking becomes polarized. It's either or. Psychologists also call this black or white thinking. The easiest way to start this discussion in the classroom is to identify physical boundaries. How much space in the room is actually theirs? How do you keep someone out of your space? How do you stay in your space? This discussion of physical boundaries is the beginning of setting emotional boundaries. To establish boundaries, it's important to understand the Karpman triangle. Karpman triangle. The same person can take on all three roles in different situations. In one setting the person is a bully, in another setting the person is a rescuer, and in another setting the person is a victim. Once you are in the triangle, you will eventually take on all three roles, and boundaries disappear because ownership isn't taken by anyone. To stay out of the triangle, you can ask questions. Here's an example of using questions to avoid the triangle. When my son was in 2nd grade, he came home from school and told me he was bored. I asked him, "Whose problem is that?" He said, "The teacher's." He was presenting himself as a victim and asking me to go to school and rescue him. I asked him, "Is the teacher bored?" He said, "No, I am." I said, "Then it isn't the teacher's problem. It's your problem. Since it's your problem, how can you solve it?" Had I gone to the school and bullied the teacher in order to rescue my son who was a victim, chances are that the teacher would have felt like a victim and gone to the principal to be rescued. The principal likely would have called me and bullied me for being so insensitive to the teacher and blaming the teacher for my son's problems. And then I would have felt like a victim and told my husband so that he would rescue me and go to school and bully the principal. The cycle would continue. In other words, once a person is in the triangle, that person can be expected to take on all three roles eventually. Most importantly, the problem won't get solved, and boundaries will disappear. The best way to stay out of the triangle is to ask questions and clarify the issues so that the problem can be solved. See failure as a learning opportunity. It took Edison many tries to get a light bulb to work. When asked about it, he said he knew thousands of ways that did not work. What is the significance of this in time? Will it matter in 1 year? Will it matter in 5 years? Find more self-awareness exercises that Ruby found helpful in her own life. How much of yourself do you own? A process for building your emotional resources. Before you quit teaching. Tools, resources, and hope for new teachers in high-poverty classrooms.